Hey there! Today we'll dive into an essential concept in Python, variables and constants. By the end of this video, you will not only understand the basics, but also feel confident in using them in real-world program. So grab your computer and let's get started. Let's begin with variables. A variable is like a container or a label that stores data in your program. It holds a value that can change as program runs. Think of it like a box where you can store an item and you can swap that item anytime. Here, name stores the text John, age stores the number 25, and is happy stores the boolean value true. In Python, declaring a variable is simple. As you can see here on the screen, there is variable name which is equal to the value. Variable name is the identifier you choose for the variable. It can be any name as long as it is meaningful. And value is the data that you want to store in that variable. Later on in this topic, we are going to look at the best practices for naming the variable names. Python is a dynamically typed language, meaning you don't have to explicitly specify the type of a variable. It figures it out based on the value you just assigned to it. There are some rules in naming. When naming variables, there are a few important rules that need to be followed. Let's look at some 3 important rules that need to be followed. Variable names can include letters, numbers, and underscore, but cannot start with a number. They are case sensitive, so name with capital N and name with a small n are different variables. Avoid using Python keywords like if, for, or while as variable names. In the description, you'll find a link where you can find all the Python reserved keywords. You can assign a value to a variable using $. Variables can also be reassigned to hold new values. For instance, here the value message changes from hello world to welcome to Python. Variables are flexible and allow you to store new data whenever needed. Now let's talk about constants. A constant is a value that is intended to remain the same throughout your program. In Python, constants are defined by convention using all uppercase letters like this. However, Python does not enforce immutability. This means you can technically reassign a constant, but doing so is considered bad practice. For example, our pi can be reassigned to 4, technically valid, but do not do this because this will be considered as a bad practice as we're using uppercase letters to show that that is a constant. As a best practice, treat constant as values that should never change to make your code easier to read and maintain. Sometimes you'll need to convert a variable from one type to another. This process is called casting. For example, if you have a number stored as a string, you can cast it into an integer to perform some calculations. You can see height is a string. It's 180, which is a string, and it's now being converted into an integer by using the function int. You can as well see that 75.5 is a string, but it is converted into a float by using float function. The same applies to isHappy, which is being converted to a boolean as true, which has quotes. They can be either double quotes or single quotes. It is being converted to a true boolean by using the bool function. Let's apply this in real-world scenario. This program takes your age as an input, converts it into a number, and adds 10 to it. Without casting, trying to add 10 to a string would throw an error. Now let us look at some advanced topic. Python allows multiple assignment, where you can assign value to multiple variables in a single line. For example, you can see we are assigning x, y, z to 1, 2, 3 in a single line. Now, if you print out this, you could see that x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, and z is equal to 3. Please make sure the number of variables is the same as the number of the values being assigned. You can also swap variables without using temporary variable. You can see initially a, b is assigned to 5, 10, which means a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 10. Now let's say if we swap, you can see our values are now being swapped. This time now our a is going to be equal to 10 and our b is going to be equal to 5. This technically makes your code cleaner and more Pythonic. And now that brings us to the end of our video. We have covered everything from defining variables, naming rules, conventions, constants, casting, and even some advanced techniques like multiple assignment and swapping. I hope you now feel confident in using these essential tools in your Python programs. Don't forget, our video will now be coming out every 2 days, so hit that subscribe button and turn on notification to stay updated. You can as well send this link to your colleagues. Also, leave a comment below with a favorite tip from this video or any question you have. I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding.